Oh, hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Okanagan Gardener and Forager channel. It's still kind of winter, but it's a beautiful day and the spring's coming. Plants are still dormant, but now's a good time to dormant prune some raspberries. So let's do it. So here's my little strawberry patch. One half, the Boyne side, has already been pruned, and this other half, the Tulamine, I'm going to prune now, and I'll break it up into steps. Ooh, what was that? Did I say strawberry? I meant raspberry. So, raspberry patch. Boyne and Tulamine. So the first thing I'm looking for are dead canes. And over here, this one's kind of an easy one to see. This one's dead. And it just, the color looks not as nice as the other ones. And so that one's kind of an easier one to see. But sometimes it's not so easy to see the dead ones. I had to look a little more closely. And this cane here, I'm fairly confident is dead. And the way that I'm looking at it to see if I can show you. These two side by side. So here's a dead one. And if you look at it, it looks just kind of wrinkly. And compared to this one here, this one's alive. And also, looking at the buds, this one here being the alive one, the bud is quite a bit bigger than this one here being the dead one. If there are any buds that you can see, they look like that. So this one is dead, so I'm going to take it out. The first point that I should have actually covered was that pruning the patch should be done to width, and I didn't do that for mine because it's already, I've set it up to be about 18 inches or 1.5 feet across. So the first thing that you should probably do, if it's not contained in some kind of a container, would be prune it back to 12 to 18 inches across, like side to side here. And the reason for that is if it's too wide across, it could make it so that there's not enough airflow inside to get to the canes in the middle, or not enough sun and things to get in, so you could get problems with fungus and things like that. So prune the width of the row to 12 to 18 inches. Then what I would have done next is get rid of the dead ones, which I did, and prune them right down to the ground as close as you can. Now, the next thing I'm going to be doing is getting rid of little spindly little canes that aren't going to be much good for anything. And some of them, you can see these ones. So any little ones like this that aren't going to do much of anything, I'm going to take them out. And there's a few of them throughout. So I'm going to work my way through the patch, taking out little ones like those. So I like to go through the patch in that order because now it gets to harder decision time. So if I take out those ones that are pretty much useless, or not useless, but if I take out those ones, it makes my decisions at this time a little easier. Now what I'm going to be doing is pruning down to one cane about every 4 inches. And I generally use my hand as a measure of 4 inches, every 4 to 6 inches. So now I want to get rid of overcrowding, and now I have to pick the ones that are the thickest. Or what I should do is, if there's a competition, if there are too many in one place, I want to keep the biggest ones. So here I've got 3 here within about 4 inches. So I'm going to take out the middle one, leave the other 2. Here I've got a patch of quite a few of them, so this one's the biggest, so I'll keep that one. And these two are arguably, this one here this one here are arguably better canes, but this one's got a little bit more space, so I'm going to take those. Well, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take that one out, but, and this might not be, well, whatever. It's not always exactly every 4 inches or so, but I've got a lot of space over here. So I'm going, even though these are 3 within maybe 4 inches, I'm going to leave them. Over here, I've got some more tougher decisions for me. These 2 are pretty close here, and these 2 are also pretty close. So I'm going to take out this one, leave these 2 here, take out that one. The idea is, say, you only get so many berries per foot. So if you want to have a whole bunch of canes, then you're going to get smaller berries and less per cane. So it's pruning for the best canes to let them be more productive and giving space for the canes so that you can avoid problems with fungus and that kind of stuff.
Totally different yard. Grass part and then rock part.
Alright, I've got most of the ones out that I want to get out. And, you know, in some places there are more than 1 per every 4 to 6 inches, but, you know, I'm happy with it. And the last thing that I'll do is I'll be pruning for height. And I'll be pruning these back at the top to about maybe 4 to 5.5 feet tall. And, you know, it is like, that's what I would say would be a good number to keep in mind. But kind of what you're looking for is starting at the bottom. The cane is fairly sturdy looking, and then imagine that the cane, as it goes up, it's going to get heavier with fruit, hopefully. And at what point will the cane be too weak to be able to hold the weight anymore? And that's kind of where you want to cut it. So for me, I'm thinking somewhere around here. When I think it's getting too skinny, maybe won't be able to hold the weight anymore, that's where I'm going to take them off. Alright, I'm pretty satisfied with my raspberry patch now, except for one more thing that I'm going to do. Over there's my fancy, what do you call it? Tripod? Anyway, I'm looking for branches that rub or cross, and I've just got a couple here, so these ones are crossing. So I don't want branches to rub each other. That can be a place where the branches get injured, and that can be a way that some sort of infection or injury can start. So this branch is of the crossing ones. This one is the weakest. I'm going to take it out, and I would go through and look for any others that cross. And these ones here are actually crossing right now, so maybe what I'll do, instead of cutting them, because these are actually decent canes, I'll tie them up or something like that to avoid rubbing. And that's about it for my raspberry patch. This is me doing spring pruning, dormant spring pruning of summer bearing raspberries. So if you like the video, then please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment. Did I miss something or screw something up really bad? And thanks for watching.